This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
All right, you know how teams have preseason games? This is us. This is our preseason pod for you. Fully dressed, ready to go for week one. Yes, Matthew Berry, thank you for the clap. Maria Taylor alongside Mike Florio, Devin McCourty, and Jason Garrett. And we're excited to talk about who's going to end up in Super Bowls, who's going to make impacts, what coaches we're looking forward to seeing on a different team. But let's start with that team that we think challenges Kansas City the most. So if we were taking them out of the conversation and saying who would win a Super Bowl, it would be what team? Who's number two in your book right now?
I think it's the team they're going to see on opening night in Kansas City, the team they beat in the AFC Championship game last year, the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens were one of the best teams in the league last year, one of the most complete teams in the league last year, and they didn't play the way they were capable of playing in the AFC Championship game. I think Lamar Jackson has a look in his eye now. I think he's continuing to emerge as a leader in that building with the Ravens. And I think maybe more importantly, that guy number 22 coming up from Tennessee is going to make a big impact on that team. I think they're the team that Kansas City needs to beat.
22 is a problem there, and I can't disagree with you. I think Baltimore is awesome. Another team I'm going to throw out there, the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions was a team last year. They got into the playoffs. It's like wherever we get, we'll take it. Where now you come back and you have some successes, no. We belong in the championship game. We belong in the Super Bowl. I think they're going to have a different mentality. They fixed some holes on defense. I'm looking forward to see what they look like this year.
And Maria, you prefaced the question as taking Kansas City out. We know there's one team that can take Kansas City out, and it's the Cincinnati Bengals. Sure. If Joe Burrow's healthy, they're firing on all cylinders. They've already beaten the Chiefs once in an AFC championship. They blew another one where they could have beaten them in an AFC championship. So I think the Bengals are the team the Chiefs need to worry about.
I would have said the Ravens and the Lions, but just to give one other team out here. How about the Green Bay Packers, who, by the way, Jordan Love has spent this entire offseason thinking about that last interception, but they made it to the divisional round in Jordan Love's first season as a starter. This is a franchise quarterback. He was paid that way. Really great talent on offense and defense. LaFleur can coach. Don't sleep on the Packers.
Maria, hard for me to think that none of us mentioned the 49ers, though.
Ooh, very
right?
true. But is that because we don't believe or we forgot?
There's
we
a lot
want to
of
look smart.
There's a lot of good options, but that's a good football team. The quarterback's getting better and better and better. Weapons everywhere. A little bit of a turbulent offseason. Yeah. I get all that, but once it gets going, they're going to be a hard team to beat.
They're a great team. The only concern on them, they're one of the older teams in the NFL, and they stayed really healthy last year. Obviously, they caught up to them in the Super Bowl, but that can they stay healthy throughout an entire year? Because we saw what happened when Debo and Kittle in the Super Bowl got hurt. They're a different team.
It's a completely different team. Completely different coaching staffs, too. We've seen some movement. Florio, we'll start with you with the coach that you believe is going to have the biggest impact.
I mean, without question, and this guy's a lunatic in a good way. He is completely insane in a good way. He oozes football, and I think he is going to take the Chargers. And you know my line. He's the only one that got the reference last year about Rosanna Dana. It's always something with the Chargers. But this is the guy in Jim Harbaugh who can change that. I mean, who else can find a positive in 15 guys getting trapped in an elevator but Jim Harbaugh? He just is everything about getting the most he can out of a football team. I think the Chargers are going to be a lot better.
If anything, when things are bad, you're still like, but what did Jim say? Like, what did that mean? You know what I mean? So sometimes it just takes the light off of them a little bit, the spotlight.
Yeah, who's got it better than the Chargers? Nobody, right? I went out to practice in the spring. You're on the practice field for 5 seconds. You're like, this is pro football. They're getting coached hard. The guys are attentive. They're running from drill to drill. They're competing against each other the right way. And it's all because of the energy and the leadership that he brings. He's won everywhere he has been, and he will win with the Chargers.
Maria, you'll like this. I'm going
Falcons.
with the Falcons. I'm going Raheem Morris. I think we looked at the Falcons last year. We said, give him a different quarterback, get him a new head coach. You get Raheem Morris in there. He's a guy, I think, that can handle Justin Simmons, Matt Judon just getting there. All the high expectations of Kirk Cousins coming in. Oh, yeah, and we draft Michael Penix Jr. You need a coach with a strong personality. They lost 31-0 in the preseason to Jacksonville. He's dancing with the fans, signing autographs. He's calm, he's collective, he's confident in what he can do.
Already sold out tickets for the season. They're excited to come see the Steelers in week one. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Devin.
Seahawks were 30th in yards allowed last season. Mike McDonald comes there and changed that defense. I think Ryan Grubb makes that offense a lot better as well. Give me Mike McDonald and the Seattle Seahawks, which I don't think anyone's talking about, but he's a hell of a coach.
Can I tell you guys something?
What's that?
I went to high school with Mike McDonald.
Oh.
Centennial Nights. Let's go.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
Where's your guy?
Is that random?
Can we get some Maria Taylor highlights in high school?
Absolutely not. You cannot get them. Okay, they're somewhere on some DVD. Okay, let's talk about a contender that you're not necessarily buying the hype of. Who would that be for you, Barry?
It's Miami. It's the Dolphins, unfortunately. I love Mike McDaniel. We all love the press conferences, but as a Miami Dolphin head coach, he's 4-8 in December and January. We haven't seen Tua play well in cold weather either, and so until they prove it, and again, they're in a division with the Bills. They're in a division with the New York Jets, and assuming a healthy Aaron Rodgers. So the Dolphins would be for me until they can prove it at the end of the year.
Yeah. I think the Cowboys, and I don't even know how much hype there is, but they always have hype because they always are out front and center in America's team, but they really didn't do anything to get better this year. They got lucky last year. They pulled the inside straight when the Eagles collapsed down the stretch to win the division. I just think they're going to have a hard time this year. They haven't addressed their contract issues. Mike McCarthy, lame duck, and he knows it. I think they're going to have a hard time.
I was going to say the same thing, and I think it's mainly because you say all those things, but Cowboys fans are still sitting there like, usually we have the big off seasons and it never works, but we're staying calm this year, so now we're going to win. And I just don't see it. I think all those things happen. It's hard to be good year in and year out. And when you blow an opportunity like they had last year, I think it's hard to come back and consider yourself a contender again.
I actually disagree with you guys. I think as long as number 4 is playing quarterback for them, they have a chance. They've won 12 games the last 3 years. I think they'll be in the thick of it. I don't know if they can go the distance, but they're going to be a good team. The team that I have a little concern about is the team in Houston. They were remarkable last year. Probably my favorite story, the coach and the quarterback. But I think there's a little bit of an expectation that all of a sudden, boom, they're going to the next level. It's hard to get back to where you've been. Teams are going to watch that tape. They're going to study C.J. Stroud. It's not going to be quite as easy. I still think they're a good football team. I don't know that they go to the next level.
You agree?
No. I think I agree with what he said. It's not easy to get back there, but you bring in Donnell Hunter, you go get Joe Mixon. I just feel like Houston
and
said...
Stephon Diggs.
And Stephon Diggs. I think Houston left and said, hey, we're not okay just losing a divisional round to the Ravens. We want to be better, and they did those things. So C.J. Stroud doesn't have to be as good as he was last year because I think the team's better.
And one team in Texas does know how to go all in. Because it was the Texans. First team ever to get a 1,000-yard rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver, and a double-digit sack guy in the same offseason. So they didn't rest on what they did last year. It's going to be harder this year. They can't hide from anybody. They don't have all those 1 o'clock Eastern kickoffs like they had last year. They're going to be in primetime. We're going to see them, and it's a tough schedule. But I think they're built to take it at least as far as they did last year.
I feel personally attacked on Jason's behalf here. Going in on the Texas team. I'll take that for you. Don't come at him like that. All right, we have a speed round now, so that means we're going to pass the ball quickly as we possibly can. Come November, the Steelers' starting quarterback will be whom?
Justin Fields. They have to see what they got out of this kid at some point. I don't think they'll be in the hunt, so Justin Fields.
Okay.
I'd love to say Kyle Allen just for fun, but I think Russell Wilson's going to hang on to the job. They've got some tough games early. They got some primetime games. They understand what they're trying to do offensively and defensively, and I think Mike Tomlin is going to make a decision. He's going to stick with it for as long as he can.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mike Tomlin says, hey, we're going to win games on defense. They just need Russell Wilson to do what he did last year. If he can just be that same guy, they'll be in it and they'll stay with him.
9-time Pro Bowler in Seattle. The formula was run the football, play great defense, Russell make a handful of plays during the game. That's what we're trying to recreate there in Pittsburgh. They have the right guy in Arthur Smith to do it. I still think he'll be their starting quarterback.
All right, by the end of the year, Deshaun Watson will be a top blank quarterback. Jason?
Top 15 quarterback.
Okay.
I'll go top 20 quarterback. He hasn't thrown the ball. He hasn't been out.
At what point is it bottom? I mean, it's like, you know what I mean?
You get a chance to say. You can say it right now.
He's in the top 80%.
I was going to say top 32. His arms hurt again because we haven't seen it in Cleveland yet. Jacoby Brissett played better than him his first year there. Yep. They went to the playoffs under Joe Flacco last year. I mean, we haven't seen Houston Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. We just haven't. And I think we see Jameis Winston under center this year.
What was your number?
Top 80% is what I'm sticking with. And it's really, we don't know. He's the biggest wild card in all of football. And I think on behalf of Browns fans, the idea that they gave up so much to get him, and forget about the money, the draft picks, what they could have had with the team they currently have with those draft picks.
You know, I worked for Nick Saban for 2 years, and we talk about players a lot. And he would say, players are like the stock market. Don't tell me where they've been, where are they now, and where are they going. So we got to stop thinking about what we traded for, how much we're paying him. Where is he now, and where is he going? That's the only question. I think Stefanski could do a nice job, settle him down, And I think he'll be a top 15
He's
quarterback.
Bitcoin.
Jason's so positive.
I was going to say, one thing you're going to get from the Football Night Pod is you're going to get some positivity. You're going to get some negativity. And you're going to get some truth somewhere in it, okay? It's in the middle there. It's in there.
All right,
somewhere.
I can live with that.
Okay.
$250 million for a top 15 quarterback, and that's the top. That's the best. I mean,
Where is he now? Where is he going?
dude.
Where is Aaron Rodgers now, and where is he going? If he finishes the season, the Jets will end up doing what?
Be in the mix for the Super Bowl, representing the AFC. It's going to be the Chiefs, the Ravens. The Jets will be right there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if he plays a full season, that's a big if, though. He's going to be 41 in December. He's coming off of the torn Achilles. They play 3 games between September 9 and September 19. They've got 2 short weeks the first half of the season, Sunday to Thursday. It's going to be grueling for him, but if he can make it, they will be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I agree. I think if he's healthy during the AFC Championship, that defense, and all this is barring injuries everywhere else, but I think they'll lean on that defense. That defense has held I think teams at 19 points a game. Aaron Rodgers has never been under 20 points a game in his career.
Yeah, I think that's the key for me. When you have a guy like that, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play. Be careful of saying, Aaron, go do the whole thing. They have a great defense, run the football, almost make him a complimentary player, and then let him be Aaron Rodgers in the big moments. I think if they do that, the pressure gets alleviated, and he plays at a high level all year long.
All right, guys, I think we did it. First string played the entire preseason game. Now we can let Chris Sims come in here. I can throw shots because he's not here. The Football Night in America pod, you can catch it every what?
Sunday.
Sunday,
go.
Wednesday.
Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah, make sure you tune in. We'll be right here, and we'll see you for the kickoff. Kansas City taking on the Ravens on Thursday night.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.